Hello, I'm Connie Golden. I'm the president and founder of Mom to Madre, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to talk about kitchen safety for toddlers and small children. And when you begin with the childproofing of your home, you're often on your knees looking from the baby's point of view. And today we're going to think about, okay, how high can my toddler reach? Because we don't want them to touch anything that's hot or to be able to pull anything off of the counter for obvious reasons. So talking first about the stove, this is a commercial stove and it has very big flames. And when we bought this house, I had a toddler and I was expecting. And so we turned off the flame and we decided that we would light it each time as we needed it, and we kept the knobs in the drawer unless we were using them because we didn't want little hands to come up and play with them. They're a natural, that's kind of a cool toy, and to turn on the gas. Also, if you use any sort of matches or lighters or whatever for barbecues or stoves, you need to make sure that they're in a locked drawer, or at least a drawer that your child can't reach because they can start fire. And I love candles, they're beautiful, but with little children and even pets, if they're down low, they're going to be possibly knocked over, or they're certainly going to be an object of interest. So it's just not the time for candles unless they're up high, and then you don't even have to worry about whether you leave them lit or not, because that's not a safe practice as well. And here's a great alternative. These are little battery-operated candles, and in nighttime they're absolutely beautiful. They look just like a candle, and you don't have to worry about any open flame, but you still have that nice ambiance. And also, plants are a wonderful thing to have in a house for making it more beautiful. But some plants are toxic, some plants are poisonous, and when you buy a plant, it's something to think about before you bring it home to a house that has toddlers or young children, or actually even cats or dogs who might chew on it. A fire extinguisher is a very important thing to have in your house, and this one can be refilled, and it tells you when it's empty or when it's heading towards being empty, and then you can refill it. But that's an important safety thing. And on your stove, you want to make sure that the handles of your pots and pans are turned away from being off the stove, because you don't want a child to be able to touch it and to pull it. And the same goes for sharp knives. You don't want them facing out where they could be taken out of their knife holder, but have them turned sideways or kept in a drawer that children can't get into. Now, I have lots of dogs. I've always had dogs, and I love dogs, and that's not really kitchen safety, but I've always fed my dogs in the kitchen, and that is, with a toddler and a dog, that can be a point of conflict. And you want to keep your children and your dogs separate when it's food time for the dogs, because they can get jealous or protective, and you don't want to have that kind of conflict between a dog and a child. And may I recommend that if you don't have a dog yet and you do have children, that you talk to a vet about breeds that are really loving with kids, because there are some that are just better than others, and you want to make sure that your child has a really wonderful positive experience with a pet. So keeping in mind how high your child or toddler can reach, don't forget to keep dishes and plates back from the counter if you have something on them, because the child might be curious, want something, pull it off and be hit by it or whatever, or just spill it. While we're here, it's a good idea to talk about food safety, even though it's not child-proofing, because you are going to be cooking with chicken and fish and raw meat, and those things can be contaminating, especially if you reuse the same cutting board for something else like vegetables or salad. So this type of thing that has them color-coded is really helpful, and it's easy to say, oh, okay, this one's just for vegetables, and then to wash them with hot water or in your dishwasher. And the same goes for a sponge. You want to toss them frequently, and also you can always put them in your dishwasher on the top shelf, and that will help keep them clean and safe. Now, at the sink, there's two issues. One is that oftentimes we keep our soaps and abrasive stuff and caustic things underneath the sink, and you definitely have to have them locked with child-proof locks. And the other issue here is hot water. And it's possible to lower the setting on your water heater so that you won't have a dangerous scald or burn. And 120 degrees is considered a safer setting. It can go up to 160, and that's a dangerous setting. So find out what is the best for you, but it's generally considered 120 degrees and lower if you have children in the house. And finally, in the kitchen, we have electrical appliances, and some of them have very sharp blades, such as a blender or a food processor. So just make sure that they're back against the wall and that the cords are wrapped around them so that they're not dangling and a child is interested in pulling the cord and seeing what it is, because that could get them hurt. So these are some hints to make your kitchen safer, and good luck and have a wonderful time with your children.